So Ghana the Shimamai Mamunina aha ya TVXYZ so power 97.9 FM and watching Radio XYZ 93.1 and ya wada agas bosumi ni de tosu edunai e won fimpinu ene aduenu enumu enan awie en sama hodo a edie him yamaimo ene yesi ho adwa e de beso se power awia prem tobre akan Kasiebo na ye kam se Kasiebo yi etu afidan kesiemu e wo su 37 Abebese street so and which no to apete ewo Yafle stations ahodo no emo to betie bi ewo Voter Power 94.1 ho Global FM ho Sharp FM Takra den Shoma 92.1 Kankwanta Boom FM Giasekan Jenyame 107.7 ewo Sampa nananum 92.5 hafu Goso Western Radio Lembele KFM Pasangligi FM Obole Rich FM Masifo Su High Radio ewo Bechem Oti Radio Dambai Wimpa Sampa Widi FM ewo Pusiga and which no Blue FM Sunyane Sunset Radios for Asom Nyansapo FM 89.9 ewo Shama and which no Atom Local FM ewo Asase Tre Nzima Elembele Vinci Radio any TV ewo Dunkwara Fe ubo Romwa Monene Soa Apple 68 FM Virginia womu Ekramu Daisy Radio Italy Adamfupo Radio UK OPD Radio so ewo UK Loud Silence TV ewo USA online no eye Radio SM online tune in eye 97.9 FM ya power and afen so my xyzonline.com ya kunche nsem nyina gu hodoma ubetimi akoken kan bi Facebook no so ya power 979 TVXYZ and afen so Radio XYZ uko YouTube no so ya XYZ Broadcasting Limited multi TV digi boss no ya Power FM Radio XYZ and watch no ko Facebook na wa share na wa like and somewhere bani nyina no betimi edo comment no so ato hodomo ede ama na wian somewhere ba no edo pa na mom de adimu akotire no bi enie Abusia kadna Peter texting ne odi atudwa ya wo sre Ghana difo ye wo memu sese ko ba se hwedi amponyanko de adi ye bi ba wa ya boho mpaye ansa na odi abatudwa na edachna ena yikese pa wo man Ghana ye nyina ye bebo demu e wo Blaster Square na ye de ahye so ye mpani fo makomakon wotwe ya ye hwere wo mu no o kira na yiyo no e ba so na ban no e hye awodo odi agu akwan mu e fa yiyo no ho wo de ababetudwa
perimpaya wo no e convener e de Anti-galamsey coalition ye raken ashigbaba wonte de atudwa se mensi akrache mpanifo any post commander for wo me ya wodo galamsey je no won sechemena any ade no Ghana penny one pound woman
National Chairman demand this year Mayokono Yera Johnson see Dunket Theatre said this summer the beba now so nyano na ebesi aban hu kwan na ne reset agenda o person odidi dwuma e wo mem no wontimi emfanye
adesma man samne do so awie ya bo ne nyina no de so mo se awie apremto brekase abonyumako bia drama wo bo ye chidom yemfa seda ema medimosis wo matena ye no esan se ne wakofa left capsules ya be adwama so ye duro wo adwama so eboa ema digestion ye adwuma sanso na eyi fini ade efini pedwe ni mu detoxify body no ema body no edi adwuma se de sefata eno nyina wo adwama so pharmacy chemical herbal shops mu ya frɛ na ekotu bi 0244068447 0244068447 wo fra na empenifo wo mo abo gentle step mother care ma nkwada ntade ema no mema de wo mo dwumadi ahodo nyina wo magudie mu niema wo mbehie nyina no bibie fa nkwada ho bia no gentle step mother care hwe na wo so kuisanse wo koba na bibie kura wa wo de ebe fi spinters or Benpogas furniture woni Absa bank no ene di hwe ni mo bo na da form ya fra wo mo 0244238477 0244238477 and 0245681085 for fra won sabeka empany for Solak natural clinic ya tna ye obo mo opom de ho nsema ko yi awo ho asem a wo de da na obeboa wo liver ene kidney o hawa bani nyina ho a oda mafada no na wonhwe emmoa ya na anase tataya Sola Kasue Kokomlemle obe have a senior high school no friend was 0553932631 393261 ofre doctor wonsa ebeka no ex natural mineral water insuo kroje we dwama so yedi ho adanse che pebi nanom na emwa wo ene edi kro nyina na yi kese wo ho ye be shefa hodo sa bre bi no so bo mo ho akowade ni nyina be hia nsuo edi asoma hoho ye nkanfo x maun eni nsuo mu ede papa wa wonum bi e friend wala beba obeba do aba be to be enti Melcom shops ahodo Ghana ha de okwa obenya bi etu ya fra 0596273546 and 0596273547 ofra empenifo bejo sunyuma ko ya fofo bi ka ho bi eno mobo echido mawiei ami ade Kasiebo e de asomo
akenkan fo no mimidi da chima akosia oforiwa amanfo mene
ama poma checheku
Anishimama yeshe Kasiebo no ase ede amamo na yesha se dia ye nyina nimbrichie kese asabre ye da man Ghana ye triso ya ye twa jajo na ye dia bobo ewo man emu na no ada wuku dadi ya dabone pa enra ne na wotwe pepepe ya chese man Ghana yanti asem de na de ensan yen nanso so no enkwanta kese pa na eyira yen ewo man emu ni nyina ne se empanifo makoma konwotwe ya asabre wo muti wie mu hyemo ya wo mukopie mu ewo boase dwumadie sonkon na chese fofia antoata wabedware abam ene se kwanhia kese ekosi ye mam ye mpanifo nwotwe nyina no wo mo ato nanan wo nse do ye nyina ye nim sem dada ye guso ayedi ho abobo ewo mai emo na no na ban ne de betu dwa wo kire se nyame ya adomu a eda kine ya ye no eye agas bosomi de toso edunum ye mpanifo makoma konwotwe nyina no wo mayi yo no wakwan koje twato kra no ye nyina ye bodem wo mai Ghana nyina ye kabomo ewo Blaster Square na ye de yiyo no ahihye so na ye mpanifo nyina no ye je omkwan kra na no na enedua ya no mampani atena ye omo friends semtrofo enhyiamudie ekyerekere dwumadie na ni so okena se de besifa kɔ enwa na montuo ene ho hye ni nyina no ene wo mo de tudwanam so ema deputy chief of staff in charge of operations ye Rastan Dogwe Nigeria simpie so a wode nchechema hodo no etudwa na bre ya na enhyiamudie ne ekoso no yamani boni oto ye nkra efri mampani atena ye wisdom hedejome na wogina honom ne course ni nyina no wa bone tofa wode eba besom ye enawia obeka yensa ewo studio ha mizi
that's him
now what to say
am ya do me hoye
bibi aboko
sure we are good
yeda nyame ase enti ene sede dwumadie no esifa koye abra na ye Rastan Dogwe gina simpie so a wode enchechemu eba wo chese dwumadie no wo ma hyembe ahoro miensa enti sede etie no boyemu
enchechemu miensa na okano before that maminka say Rastan Dogwe government side on behalf of the Federal Planning Committee no in which police department so no ebe address media no ansana the military omonso ebe kan ni omonso nhyehyɛ omonso aye now nhyehyɛ na Standogbe ekan deputy chief of staff ekan in terms of the three parts no or say the kind no be the pre-burial service ye no best ate anopa non sompa mu na ebo non kron na dwumedi na nkasa ahyase ansa na ne krakra no omo akɔpɛ on krabie ewo the military cemetery no ewo chado yenua nsia ya aka no say mienu di omodi case omutinsia na aka no domba beko chado na nhyehyɛ ka ho no in terms of tribute ye bekenka on bakwasem ebusuafo de nyina no no before the before the main funeral at 9 inti said tribute ebusuafo bekan biography ebusuafo bekan and attribute companies na we are now ejuma defense ministry bekan one day environment ministry bekan mo dey nadmoni sa de nyina no nyina beba before the main funeral at 9
okay enti okasa no okabibi fa accreditation akoba ni se no nyese bia yan semtrofo no obi e ba bi keke accreditation who asem so wakan okan safa accreditation ho in all of that but before I beka accreditation asem no o de mayenti near Standogbe e kan specifics efa the funeral part no part A, part B and a part C.
Okay. The service would largely be a military service. It will be conducted by the Ghana Armed Forces, and there will be 3 parts to the funeral program. We would have the pre-burial service, during which period some tributes would be read. We would have Quran recitations during that period, and the second part would be the main funerals and burial service. The pre-burial will start from 7:30 a.m. and would continue to 9 a.m. We expect Her Excellency the Vice President to arrive at the funeral grounds at 8:50 a.m. in the morning, and that will be followed by His Excellency the President at 9 a.m. where the state service will then begin. Approximately 3 hours, during which period we would take the biographies of the departed 8 colleagues, parents, siblings, and colleagues. After the biographies, we will take tributes from the widows and then also tributes from the children. There will be other tributes that would be read by some senior government officials. All institutional tributes from the various institutions that our departed comrades work with or associated with will be read during the pre-burial period before 9 o'clock.
All right, Inti, no standogbe regarding the parts of the funeral. Now, we be about accreditation and also no in sema or car porting see eno chim.
Relation to the media, I believe that a statement was issued earlier by the Minister of State for Government Communications on arrangements that have been made for this service, and media houses and journalists were required to apply for accreditation. Media houses and journalists that applied and have been accordingly accredited are the only ones that will be allowed in the inner perimeter, which is designated as a special media zone for the service. And that accreditation is for only camera holders, video camera operators, and photographers. They are the only ones that are going to be allowed in the inner perimeter. Reporters and others are not going to be in the perimeter. You are welcome to join the mourners. You are also welcome to use the media stands on this end or on the left end and be able to follow proceedings and report back to your media houses. Allocations have also been made for audio feed to my right behind the stands for radio stations that want to set up for their outside broadcast. Television stations that also want to set up and broadcast from here are also welcome to set up behind the left stand very close to the OB van that is there, and feed outlets are going to be available for clean feed. It's only camera operators that would come into the middle that would require accreditation, and they must have it, and we are going to enforce it religiously. We expect that we would all comport ourselves, we will respect the guidelines. We do not want to see tomorrow anybody holding a phone or a monopod and struggling to chase people, chase mourners as they are coming in to come and sit down. We expect a very high level of decorum and solemnity tomorrow morning.
All right, Inti, that's Standogbe regarding the accreditation aspect. I was very keen on that. Also, Nobel programs now bloggers, especially kita phones, monopody, friend selfie sticky, near the chat, and let say, and I say, more content. So that's a stand one or the ama say, Ochinanya dia, or mess also sa Nyamano Sintino, there'll be orderliness in terms of baby, I'll be a bet nanny the necessary arrangements.
Okay, yes, Bambo Munsamuswe, Drew Jumadia say ya na bambo ni jina na so pa ochina de no so sen na be kono
Osanso ka say eba ahombambo na there'll be a lot of deployment. No one can say ordinary Omeka say be a police nipa 500, be a military 2000, be a immigration. That's but one can is about can say deployment or China be very heavy. And yet because say president and a vice be home looking at the nature of the program, then it's to me abua now baby soon any more be ye no ninano we to me abua home by ye in China there'll be heavy security deployment.
Heavy security deployment, obviously not because the president and the vice president are here, but also for the safety of all mourners that are going to be here. We therefore entreat the mourning public to collaborate with the security officers as it relates to their walking in, their parking, and others. If you are driving in, you will be required to alight at a specific point and walk into the mourning zone, and your vehicle can be parked at a designated car park. If you are driving yourself, then you'd have to go and park and come and walk into the service area. For the cemetery, arrangements have been made to provide buses to convey the families that would be heading to the military cemetery. The idea is to reduce the traffic en route to the cemetery and also manage the traffic at the cemetery, because if we allow everybody to just drive in there, the number of vehicles there will be a lot. So buses will be provided to the 6 families to convey them there, and then a few others that would be able to join would join. If you get to the cemetery, please listen to the military police that will be on standby, who would be working on parking and designated areas where we can go and where we cannot go.
All right, Auntie, that's it for you. Baby Albefa, baby Albeko, and all of those arrangements. Because you see, one thing I've always said is in this state, anybody aba. It is a one comporto one share na abakudina.
Na yeshe military ne so afa asrafo no it's say ye we de esi omo sere so pa yesha na omo so nsihye be no mo de agu akwan mu fa achina.
Ochina no commodore okan echiremu say from the mortuary yomude munu be fi ho ababedu Black Star Square eyi yo ni nyina mu say no be da eyi no bibia no soldier for na ye bibia. Even the service itself no the chaplaincy of the Ghana Armed Forces and a be officiate inti no eba eyi yo no de ochina ne de bibia soldier for de asra for de enye civilian ye inti no ochire ni nsem say
the service will essentially be military in nature. The Ghana Armed Forces has the responsibility of moving our fallen heroes from the morgue to the Black Star Square and then to the military cemetery after the funeral service. The service will be led by the chaplaincy of the Ghana Armed Forces. That does not mean that only ministers, pastors and imams from the armed forces will be in charge. We would be supported by some of our civilian colleagues, but in essence it will be a military service. After the service, like I indicated, we'll proceed to the military cemetery. There would be some unique arrangements and innovations at the cemetery to ensure that our fallen heroes are accorded the highest state respects possible. Please, would like to plead with all of us that both here and at the cemetery, let us follow directions so we can have some order. We will not want a situation where people will be walking in places that they are not expected to be in. Please let us all at all times ensure the highest form of discipline.
right, inti air commodore okay. And then some can say also repeat the essence of say we don't want any we be into comport yourself, help us comport yourself, and also repeat it. So it was Adia Bakwana, it was running through Omukasa nyina.
Okay, nti yan hwe chena adru sa no akwan ahodo bu hodoma omo be block na afen so womo wo car parks ahodo omo de be ma adehia womo eba.
In terms of that, Nadia Omaka, a director in charge of training, education, and research, Emma the police MTTD, Chief Supo, this is a Chief Supo, Alexander Obeng, or say a bar a year acquire for example, Momufi Osu, Labadi ha ebe fa ako main business district, no, Ombe. By 5 a.m. on the Manage Road, that's how he puts it. That they'll be directed to use the Oxford Street into Ombe Faho. Now Omo Mufi Madina Airban so no Mudu immigration's head office now almost be diverted and there are a lot of other approved routes Ombe. But in terms of car park areas, no, or say wa or china ube park your car or unapproved areas, no, they are towing vehicles beba amabe to car no e de akọ e de abekọ main office na aba be hwe car nichi it is a ba on pe ho asema VVIP car park no eno unse se wo Independence Arch nichi a nichi sa no honom de be ma VVIP and dignitaries na on be banye nyina no honom be park and the forecourt of the State House no so available person park o car ho the International Conference Center and also betumi akopake o car ho sanso na wo stadium ni opposite your Access Bank omo car park no and also betumi akopake sanso na cemetery car park no osu cemetery car park and also traffic light na se wa no attending left betumi apake o chirem se ade a security for na say police for do na ebe available omo ho ya on be hwe say bibia betumi akoso 13 enu echi no call the ministries ho no so a omo be bia omo designate for car park what the ministry car park no so sanso and the unse unam the court complex area there's this big area here more designated for friend of the Marine Drive football area no so betumi akopake o car and na the agric car park and also available and now omabo modern said the children's park if was children's park no in the extreme cases say cars na babo so many yombe park no they will be directed to also park there intino say on pe ho asema o de betumi afa trotro na waba umpe asema uba ho benye bi akọ na mum say ebia because ebia na wa menye we park o car na akwakoto o car na de wenyi na ba but these are the designated areas on be park o cars na mum eba the specific routes on be manager Chief Superintendent Alexander Obeng.
Roads that are going to be managed. So from tomorrow morning at about 5 a.m., traffic police officers will be deployed to manage traffic that are coming from Laboni and Osu through the Independence Square to the Central Business District. What is that we will ensure that there is no congestion. And so as and when we view and see that traffic is compounding, certain traffic diversions have been made to deliver these traffic services to routine commuters and residents around Independence Square. Those on La Road, when the road is blocked, will be diverted onto the Oxford Street, will be diverted onto the castle to Independence Avenue through National Theatre onward to Kimbu
enti wei eye chief supo Alexander Obey ena yetene nkanti nyame yantumu a echina yi kese a esi o man Ghana konkon no akwan ahodo bi a won be block no de won be biebie ene ebunsem nyina no ena oti se chief ede ehunsem atudwanti yamane boni wisdom hede dwome wono nebutu mampani atena ye enhyehyɛ ya ahodo de agu akwan mu echina yi kese nyina no ena woti se wode emu nkyekiremu abrent echina ye nyina ye hia ewo Blaster Square na ye nyina bomu na ya kandifuoi womayi yono makwankoja etwato no ya ye ede akro machi
ya tuwa Kasiebo no so ede amamo na His Eminence Cardinal Kwadwo Apia Texan Peter Kennedy ho enani wodi atudwa ya wo sese na no da ya wo misi ye na afe ye TSS nkrofo bi hye ho comedy fo bi kasai ede fa ho ne sensem bebre ya ama ne homne so na eno mada petwa ne ade bi aba bibi so kra ho a wo ne mpanifo nyadwene e wa namo ne kwan ahodo a wo fa so da se ede yie no ede no na aka ho bi amene wo sese ko ba se twedi amponyankopɔ da niema bi edi ede kyerɛw enkanka ne de betumi de atoyɛ nkyɛm aba wada ama uye difo ya abɔ ho mpaye na se twedi amponyankopɔ so won kyerɛw kwan a won fa so a saa asɛm no won fa ntodwa na afi ho anamo a wosie tuo de so saa ha no ano no won fa no wansa na abeba bonte kra de abetodwa waba bonte ede atodwa no ne nsɛntwerɛfo ne kasa ene ode nsɛmi todwa.
The first consequence is to speak with God himself, especially if the content of the privacy is about disaster or evil or something that may befall. Since you may not have the chance to immediately communicate with whoever is concerned, the first thing therefore that you do is you intercede with God about what is happening. God, if it's possible, avert this. This is actually what Abraham did when God shared a story with him about destroying Sodom and Gomorrah. It was intercede bargaining, okay? God spare. If God shares some knowledge with you, and the knowledge is about disaster or something evil that may happen, first thing is please pray about it. Intercede. I trust the government will certainly do something to celebrate the memory of these 8 brave and valiant sons and politicians. Whether this will be followed up by a national institution or monument of any sort, to make this permanent, that's this can take so very many forms. I mean, for example, this was an Air Force helicopter that crashed. Would this lead to an attempt to revamp the whole military hardware of the Ghana Army? That could be a possibility. Could be a direction to go. Could that lead into a form of training for whatever? That can be a direction. Can that also lead to an establishment of an institution?
His Eminence Cardinal Peter Kwadwo Apia Texan wono Chancellor Edema Pontifical Academy of Sciences and Social Sciences of Vatican and yet is what in sebi tudwana dwumadi bi bekoso agas busumini da ye toso eduonu mienu ni nyina na ye nkai domo a omo ye de ama ni nua ba ko a wono so nam ewiamu hyen kwanhye ya so bi ehwe ne nkwa wo mfie mpini ho baabi na wono mbedi ne ho dwumadi bi na enu na wono nsentwefo di nkita ho agina so ma wode sa ensem etu etwa.
National Chairman Edima NDC amanyoko no Yera Johnson na siedun katia na wode atudwa ya wobama ne se adisema hodo a ekoso memu de ekoso pa nipa dodo no a difo dodo no a na ehye nkom efa ban ehum na wo ka tudwa kire se adisem ne de beba pa wo mu betie wo mbesom na so eno no ensi aban hu kwan se adwuma wose wo ye edebo my Ghana mpuntuo no wo betwe ne ho ede afri mu reset agenda no a Panyi His Excellency John Dramani Mahama eka ho asem no won behwe akoso a e de ye adwuma na nanom atra nkonya ko ye no e won kramantami emo ye Greater Accra Regional House of Chiefs wo bo anan ekopie mo e wo NDC wo mo headquarters no e won kran ha e na kire se wo gina so a wo de sa ansem yi etudwa.
We are merging the chiefs and the unamos, even as we find answers in foreign religions. We've all heard about various prophecies, some of them claiming to play the role of God. So, and some threatening our leadership that more calamities are on the way to happen unless certain things are done. My belief is that what will happen will happen. And we are not going to be cowed away from taking necessary decisions that will restore this country. And I know the way our chiefs are running around His Excellency the President, I know he will continue to be emboldened to take the right decisions that will reset this country, whether there are prophecies or no prophecies. And I want to urge all of us to use this moment as a solemn occasion to find out what went wrong. I want to urge our chiefs and traditional rulers that there is nothing shameful about our culture. Let us do honor to our culture. If as an individual you convert to any other religion, you have your freedom to practice your religion.
Onwenya for Johnson asia dunkatia ena yatini nke obiane ni jidie obiane ne som obiane se ho kwan obetimi aye de openemo senkom hye bawo senkom hye maw Ghana mampanyi His Excellency John Dramani Mahama adwuma woso woye edebo man Ghana punto no obekoso a aye.
From Tobra Kasiebo egusu ade som higher power 97.9 o share live on TV XYZ Radio XYZ 93.1 Facebook here live o benim so di achi o ye Kasie no share ama fofo so enya bia hwe na amani aba ye ene sempeni fo wotwe ye awon mu share o mu kofirikwa mu wo yaya na o mu ko oboase e wo beya santemantemo na adwumedie bia ahwe ye hwe o magane ensase ene ne power do atwedi amponyankopon de adom yeso no eye cooperative responsible cooperative mining and skills development no womodi omani monyam akwakwata echebie eno yesebe boa mi akonkronkra wodomo na eba efomagudie tuo no a yama won mutumi krata concessions ne ade no omayi modwuma na echire yi wo mu ye adwuma wo mu wi a wo makatakata so kama na aboa mani makoyie no so ena wo mu kohia wo mu kofiko mu wo yaya na enkrache se na okopie mo ewo aboso ene ne potemo ewo presia huni valley mpeso no so a kamia kwese wo mu responsible cooperative mining no anka wo se krumani ade ne ho asem no mo ka no ene yesi China phobia be shepo ni mu a wo mutu sa na mo no ye kwa homa so ne pani a wo branch chairman Edma Aboso eye empeso ane so ho Dauda Sofo Osman e disanse mi honkomo honorable yadase awie sa woni ye kase boy so Tiefo nyina eje so nkra ye nya ne nkran eye se responsible cooperative mining community mining no a e wo se koso mo peso ane so no ye se China fo bi mom e na wo mo aba peso ane so ase wo mo eye twafufuo di afa eye mo kon nsemi se yankasa e na tie wada machi mu
na no da wasita nyamu shiramu ene mo di ko no di ene se yo hana aha chief ni also the channel for that officer or the ahead condition is yes so David that's the hey because ahead man no current MP first no yet DC officer we bury her at the best time to any MP Bobo Kasiebo and ko share go face abosu go face and no yes she said she say no mbebu no hu here duma nge nke duma na da no e be ya ka sharp na omunye mo eduma bio ebe ya ko nton bo oman no ampa omu gitun ede eduma no eduma aboso wan no ene bonti asuma ni na ene process ni na ampa omu gitun tell sadia omu gitun kaza because the station bi amba so omu mo yadu oduma omu ha omu tri sadia omu fa ni eduma edidi mana MPP ba fa no mbaje eduma ndi free omani sim a rene ha do ko 2020 nyame chade NDC ba fa yenya MP no so e no mo kan say na ko nte ba ya omo ni da bi ni aban omo no mo aban e jampa NDC fo mo ni omo ko no na to pay money no e ma na ya de kito a ho chire pa ha ko mo ano na ye ide nyame chade na e go to aban na ye so nya 90% omo say fisia obiane land say obiane do bio echiro everybody no on be no committee mining na committee mining no be no enya etu to the man na ati if you ba for na current minister and president mama every see no omogu eka lunch si bia muti committee mining bia no obi nti o ma ba lunch cooperative mining na did ma ya fi so ba say Just last week, Omko Akaho, we best say pray for one class. Sign for the baby bar. Susiana Ghana, politics, for politics. So move to the bar, your best so much a bear. Omun interest, I only the bill, so move should be servicing. Because you have a friend in I most night empty before. I was here, Gisano, I hit the papa, you know how. Almost put home. You know, could see appear the sickening. Okofa so the for buy. Last is on Bobu, only bomb pierce chief. No more so the for say, Omumber Mobuyan. No more coming from no more deciding from China. Next year, see, Sadia, Yen Tiasi. Empty to young people, the empty also. Which me, I hear Sadia. The end and end is Yaba. Ombe cooperative mining. Nobody Adama China, when they end there, Yen Tiasi, Yes, say, you can also, the name of co chairman. Echo. Police station, Echo report, official report, Edema, Inspector, Amaku. Say, Chief Inspector, the Echo sorry, but more about pay permanent. So, in Tokwesi, no be wa, you hold the chief room. Because they are all the channel phone every shame. May I see young Tiasi? She said, I'll take a crack, Echo who soldier for some Babuyan. No me get from someone who's young Tiasi, and you'll be sure. Let's be here, almost chief a woman too. And Chief Inspector Amaku. And the Ben of Friends say, "Wa chief unity or per se, Russia, and police station, Payo Cosiano." I am no chief. Yakram or did to the sample, on the soldier for Eden, on the bomb pierce chief. No, this soldier for Naba. So, come by him, Bobby, and Omujantino, or send your patch. Make us some press conference. I did get in. Let us have a young or patch engine too. Let me have my press conference. I'm a man who said, "Yeah, I'm from Honey." Two chiefy, your railway station, I don't make the pictures better no more. Railway night, the whole Wakunta or the man who could be your permanent. Pictures in now, glass factory, current MP, one was on Kuja, Michelle, and Mamma, or catch us say, December, glass factory, Nana. Would you my almost to a man penny? Name empty any Yantiasi. So almost to check glass factory, Rukuma. It's a milk, I let it so. Kebi Piemu. My chief no Ajiscano. You call 1 year no. There's no any one of the Bogo cry to Kuma. Transformers is so. Nina, with the workers and Nana. That's what is transformed. Papa, wow, you have a light up. If you ever transformer, the main answer. You said, what is your one that you say, Omu meet now boss of town hall. Next, your boy, you call. And by your no new commanders name, almost Asia. Wow, young boy, meeting because you're quite a business and the meeting, your baby, so now you are just a muka gas watch and some. Eddie 4-1 above Gabet now. So, I'm on by in front glass watch room. But above film about your home, Sabaya, in that no much glass watch no much channel. Maybe a better young thing. We say now, okay, Sadia, Obama wants to check. No one to training in our go on, no the first one back, no my sister for no more the dead and alcohol. Before so, you won't be said and I say, Simon away.
Okay, and Timusu say, Chama, Musu so him or no cronimo no one name Pesebia, Mampani Cooperative Community Mining Wow de Bano, a Bebe Muntin, a name of Pese, Mocha Genesis on yes, sir.
Yes. Nti ye best you pay for no so obi fi ase aba ana rock mine na yeyo mame who the small go for no black room ha ti se we ba ni takwa sam na ni ka ye wo mo say so MPP funa na eltwa down the force na dig down ma o ma se korisa o mo ye duma ababu fa ba wa sa tu o mo sa nti ye best se o mo aka o ye pay for aka let's say bibi go sa ba mo mo support am from FNGC. It's almost almost a party opposition when you don't have a
okay.
Because I rock mining. Yes, you see, almost if I ever cooperative mining. So it's your best demo. Money and people Kasa.
Okay.
The difference here bar. Almost some business, you don't know the identity.
Now, Obibaka say prayer say community mining and say see in Chem. Say see an a human cost one answer and coso.
He said, you know, a cost on Kakama, MPP chairman, IFA chairman, Abiam. Yeah, power now. Or power no bapam you feel. Yes, your power now. Yes, you better take over. On other corporate, also Muslim take over. Let your Mabiam no. Or the Aqua Court. Say, yeah, abosun pe so abeji omo kita license ni one so na na mbra wa ho ye wa na wan ka wa ban esi wa ye no community mining and at the same time no all you know when you are Ghana.
Hello. Abusia pani ene ne kasa ye wono aye Delda Sofo Osman ono ye branch chairman e waboso edema NDC amanyuko no Prisia Huni Valley mpeswa ne so ene no e kasa no mo kira community mine no ekọ ebi kwaso wo mo mpeswa ne so ne yesi wo munya ye ndie de cooperative ne ba cooperative ne nya medu ye kra na hemfo no akofa China for e de wo maba mpeswa ne so a wo mo no mo de mo ba be ye adwuma ne nto mo se embenifo so madama we de mo ma ho kwan e ma hemfo no emfa sa de ni kuruma no ye makwa makuruma no anya adwuma no na yenhwe na menim se ye nsa ka ne biemu ahoma ne so asankomo yi ye ne ne betoa so na fe ya hwede esi kro yentu aso na yenyine mu ewo fuma agudie tuo ahodo bi ekoso wo maimu ne titiru kwambone so galamsey ahodo a ama ne homene so wo maimu yenko bonteso ye no ewo amansia south mansi no emwem ene meka sai no ewo manfo bi a wo mutufuma agudie kwambone so ya wo eye illegal miners wo mo ene aban task force wapa wo mo ya wo mo ne anti-galamsey task force wo mo dia boni na no benada no a na kire se nyasem kuma akra ni nyina ne se task force wo madwuma e dia show msase wo mwa na de hye bia omutufu magudie kwambone so yentimi ntu omasesa excavator no mba beto a ombeje ede akọ no mni ade no bia no mkopie mu ewo bonteso ho no a ekowie ache omo ye se wo mu je excavator yi ede akọ na so no omanfo no eye woni a wo tufu magudie kwambone so no wo mo se dabida wo mo nti ase ma task force no emfa eye enfidie no emfiri kro no so enko ko wie che ne omo ma abo so pupo wo mo tugu task force fo isu sa na no na nam so ma posifo so ede wo ho ebeji mu na posifo e boma ne se wo hwa sa asem no esi ye ne kura osusu se assembly member ya wo no ewo empesua no eso owura Patrick Kasare wo no ene kobo asa edom na no emom koto she task force fo isu om koto to abo edigu wo mo eso no na posifo sa abre yi om koduru ho no abo ne toto no yi si nchen a wo hu se mrante mu be mienu yi pump action gun yi bia na chese wo mo toto sa eba ne sa no na wasa posifo nso timi bua no mo de mra eye adwuma entema nam so mo so toto atua yese omanfo no betimi atwe om ho se ne be ya asumdwei betimi aba na eno no oba mane a wo kire mu se wo hwe sa abototo no ekoso no a eno nam so ma posifo no mu be mienu wo mu prepare ye pa ASP Bawa Abdul Jalil woni sergeant Agblepe Mawena yawo ene ba kutia pai ba konso so anu apai ena ba konso ne na ho sa atwa ni nyina ya abototo ya galamsey foi etoto ye edeba wo mo posifo ene anti-galamsey task force foi eso na posifo no so timi bo mo ho modne pa esan ye woni shooter hodo bia wo mo ma ye nti no mrantie no makomako beye 9 die wo mo chi wom ya assembly member no wo ka ho bi wo mo ni akwasi amponsa Osei Vasco Patrick Kasare ya wono ene assembly member na afei Alexander Owusu sabredi o ma chiwo mu a wode o makopie mu ewo manso adubia pro station a wo hwe se ni manim ya obeso mu nyina begun kran ha na process adom e won kamantam mu enso atinya boa na enhwemu no wo mo atoa so ewo hodom eti we ni dia akoso ewo ye bontenso ye no ewo Amansia South mansini mu a sese no akoye o haw kese pa ya no enye asem kuma na wo sansem kroya emu no ena convener ema eye anti-galamsey coalition Dr. Kenneth Ashigbe wono so de atudwa wo se Ghana mampanyi His Excellency John Dramani Mahama say animanimu yarra MMDC is ahodo a wo mu won kroto ahodo a yetu fom agudie kwambone so ho no nyina no e wo se o madwuma ebom e wo se mampanyi yi o mu nyina afiri ho any police commanders ya wo mu hwina no pe yetu fom agudie wo mu mfitire pe yetu fom agudie a wo mu yenhwe han na fom agudie kwambone so ekoso no nyina no wo mu mind puntu enti animanim ya wo se Ghana mampanyi His Excellency John Dramani Mahama etimi bua na safo no nyina yetimi eyi wom efiri wo ne no ene betimi aboa yen ne fom agudie to kwambone so a ekoso ewo mamu no yetimi akon etia
all the media. We are now in a worse situation than we have been. So this is the time for all of us. As Omanibo Ama said, where put on your body counts, this is the time for all of us, the media, to shine our eyes on this thing. We cannot allow that after 8 people have lost their lives in the quest to be able to sanitize this. We still have environmental criminals, and that's what galamsey is, an environmental crime. Let's stop calling it galamsey. That they have the effrontery to attack the IGP's men who had gone into, and if you look at the video that Erasmus has shared, that level of degradation and destruction, there is no way the Achihime did not know about it. So that we are calling on the Achihime himself to destroy all the chiefs who are responsible for that. We then are saying that there is no way that whether it is the DC or the MC in that community did not know about that. So immediately, if the president says galamsey is a national emergency that has taken the life of his confidant, this particular MC or DC should immediately.
Way yera kena shigbe ena yatene nkenti abana musifu a mumfichire pe yetu fuma gudie kwambone so police commanders ya matna ho mumfichire pe yetu galamsey ewo ho ni nyina na ewo sedi manimi ya mampanyihwe na wotu ho anamo no yi safo ni nyina efiri ho
yanto so na fe yenko amrahia ya no ewa dentai municipality ni mo nkran ha na empanifo wo mo ena ni amo akromansa busua no mo da no ya de shibusua ye wo ho ababonte dia to dwa so no peso mo chema Ghana fo nyantiase ewo empeso ne so se oba amrahia ye wo eye busua ba ko pa hini ni si wo mo sere so ye no ani ni amo akromansa busua wo mo na yi wo hini a eneyi se wo ko mremu a yaje sa hene kro na tumu wo ko na nanom so nkratemu a wono so yaje na tumu enti se wo po hene ya wono won peso ne so a eye ni kojo ason ya woto so emiensa ye prempre ya no wo ho wotiase no wono ene di hene ewo ho na nane nsadwofo edi nkita ho ya wo kyese se yesese kra na besa afi apema henkro edi wotwe nkro 1989 de banyina no wono anakunya no ye de amano a wote so a oguso ya wo hwesa amrahia peso ne so ene manyina ebetumi akoyie na nano wate nkrase bi no mo ne nama wo motutu nsem gumo ebi mu kra kyese wo mo afa niema bi de abom ho a wo mo ne na mo bo amane so wo hene no kra no yetu na de so bi kra si o wawu kra makunya na beda mpan nti esi hen foforo ne seze bebre na ekoso wone sadwofo nkita odie mu no kira saa nsem ni nyina no enye no kwasem yenye ni mogo yempia nto baabi esanse yenkrofo bi na wo mo hyeda kwahye kira wo mo eyesa na no wo kyese ene wo hwe mpeso ne so a ye wonkrofo miensa bi a wo mo nam ede ahenie ne bom ho safo hene baako ene ni kojo baako ene ashirifi mensa wonam so no na ye ni kojo ashon ya otoso na kyese de otoso miensa de free ho na abedi adenti kyese wo yo hene ewa ambrehia sanso na baako ede William Ashirifi Ashon wono so ye mankralo ewo empotam ho ena afi John Ashirifi Gogo wono so na moa woso ye jase wa ambrehia no wo kama Ghana fo atititu no wo mo wo mpeso ne so ene wo mo a ewa ambrehia ene ho atrankonwa ne nyina se saafo no obie ne ho wo se tumi no eso obetumi ede sansem na bɔ ne ho safo hene nti yenye wo mo asem bi o mbeka bia mogo emi anyi ntom ni kojo Ashon ya otoso miensa ensantwefo nkita odi a odi ye ne nsem ode to dwane bi ni.
The self-styled chief and the Mankraro are going around parodying themselves chiefs of Amrahia, deceiving the public officers. They are saying that I have been distilled, whilst I am not distilled by law of Ghana. They are also deceiving the public officers that I have passed away. Ashirifi Mensa and William Ashirifi Ashon, Mankralo of Amahia, are also selling land illegally. And I want to advise the public that anybody who buys land from William Ashirifi Ashon, alias Mankralo of Amahia, or Ashirifi Mensa, the self-styled chief of Amahia, is risking his money.
enti abusuani kojo asho ya wotoso miensa ne ete ne nka no wose wonim na akoto asase wo sankrofo miensa ho anaso sukra no ne omode nkita ho bia wa mrahedi mu a na ese ye wankasa na ade utiri akwakoje achema nsantwofo nkita odi a wo ye ase no na mensa aka promo ni go so star 274 hash star 274 hash fa ho shembi na enko yie ma sanso na mega cash lucky box no so koso eno so ye star 426 star 5 hash eno so do ho shembi abetumi adi sikapudo pa na boy go so e ka wo se ton ho enti ya frɛ ya marketing team 0533825870 na ni wo mo eninkita ho sanso na obi pɛ adwumayefo wonim tirebo a frɛ number na ene ni nkita ho 0246473271 na ese no ano no wodem ako faye
and the shema my gina we so na wi aprem to be Kasiebo e de be som wo no ye de ni nyina si asedan koma news team no ella opoku eno achi no akua krant ma kofia brantie na najo akwachewa wo nyina yo mafom de eboa ye na wo ba MC nso so a director Ralph and afin so Peter Cranton na nakisi na wo Facebook no so a abrantie ima wo no na de ye ko Facebook Emmanuel Nete wo na de ye ko Facebook ma wo so timi ehwe bi camera so Francis Edi and afin so no Willie wo me gina camera no echi yen gifty or say enso na siesie anim ye ho eye fefefe akenkanfo no me da chehima akosia oforiwa amanfo mene
ama poma Chicheku. Na yebeko no happy birthday shonko enko ema Alhaji David Kowa, Honorable Alhaji David Kowa, Western North Regional Vice Chairman, Wefi Lawyer Stephen Kingsley Benye, eho eneba wono Deputy Managing Director Emma Ghana Post wono enene wode happy birthday shonko kra ekoma Honorable Alhaji David Kowa ese awodapa enkoma ntwedi ampo nyankropon hya no pa na onye ne kese yada mu nyina ase.
Mido, Ghana Biana. I'm going to do a baby soon. Every time I just say, baby, shit. Magashi.
Junior! I'm saying so enough for me, be no. Sister Hose Pa, it's a winning gas. I'm using the why. My wife.
Down Yankana wa.
Sister Hose. Use gas. Gas ye fast, ye easy, ye convenient.
Let me see your hand.
Na ede na ya obeya oda former son ye funu emunumuni.
Oh Mr. Entry also yare ya titi be benfie pi nanso ne yam nyono da se me chiro no ahodo amato a me hunu hwe a ebe ya nwanwa
Menyi ni say what ulcer tamfo hexa capsules any hexa mixture yanum bom kotia ulcer no bia ma no anom anka ne ho ato no dadaada ulcer dro de eno ani hexa capsules any hexa mixture
ankom ni nchiremu
ulcer ye kura eto ye funu ene ensunumu etuma wo ye funu ekeka wa wogire ho a enyi ulcer etumi ema wo ye cheko ebra wadidi awie so how eye ulcer de a kope hexa capsules any hexa mixture nanum bom na ho ebeto
pedudu atu a ko okanshi drug lane Kumasi Dani Herbal Takradi AA Mensa Anafre 02038228855 Apefo abatanya woma won mofrenofo ene awoni mfiedum no enka ho Haxa capsules ene ne mixture
ulcer tamfo edie age adwadie nkratoyi atom